Hey there! Today I'm going to talk about a pen which someone sent me as a gift. And that someone is Arguwan. And Arguwan, I'll use his YouTube screen name because I don't want him to be flooded by requests for free pens or whatever. You never know what happens on the internet. Arguwan was one of my earliest viewers. One of the people who has been following my videos for a long time now. And one of my viewers that I've actually met at the Tilburg Pen Show in 2011. That was, yes. So very nice. Always nice to meet people who watch my videos. And Arguwan sent me a pen. Now he didn't just send me any pen. He sent me a very, very nice pen. And the pen came in this box. And I always like showing you that because it gives you absolutely no clue what's inside. Now, you can get out, you can take the sleeve off, and then you have the box, and this should give you an idea of what brand is in there. It's a Lamy pen. When you open that box, you see this, and this is sort of cloth material, which is quite nice, and in there is a cartridge, which I'm not going to use either. And then we have a very nice box, which I won't show you yet because it's too awesome. You have to get used to the idea first. And then we have an international guarantee card, like a credit card thing, except that it's made of cardboard. And we have a little booklet on the pen, how to fill it, how to disassemble it, and a picture of a random person. Actually, it's not a random person, I think that's the designer. And then we have that really nice box. Now, I absolutely love that box. It looks like it's wood. It's not actually wood, I think. I hope. No, I think it's some type of artificial fake wood, but that's fine. Very nice box, which actually has two little magnets there to keep it shut. And when you open it up, you have this very nice box and pen. The box again says Lami, so if you weren't sure about that, it's definitely Lami. Design is by Franco Clivio. That was the random guy in the booklet. And this is the Lamy Dialog3. And this is the pen. A very interesting pen for a number of reasons. I'll cover the parts. I'll tell you what I like about it, what I don't like about it. And then I'll do a writing sample. Alright. That was just a box that just fell down. What is so fascinating about this pen? Well, first of all, I like the looks. This is actually metal. I don't know, some anodized aluminum or something, but it's actually metal, the whole thing. It has the Lamy logo right there, and it has these fine lines. Now you should be able to see those fine lines. I have found out, believe it or not, that I can actually manually focus this camera. So that should help. Forgive me if it's not extremely smooth yet, but this is what it should do. So you see that? Lamy. I'll zoom out again. No, not zoom out. I'll refocus light stuff on myself again. Okay, so that's that. Nice. I like those two little lines you got there, and it's nice and rounded. Everything about this pen is rounded. But let's cover the parts. Let's see what makes this so special. We have the cap. On top of the cap, you may think, well, that's pretty weird. There's this odd little metal thing in there. What's that? What's the hole? Why is this cut at a slanted angle? And then you have the clip, and the clip is very decent. And then you get the barrel, which is completely flush with the cap. And as I've just shown you, there's the logo. And then you think, okay, I'll take the cap off, and you unscrew this. And then you've just unscrewed the barrel. And you see this interesting, oh, that's clearly a converter. Looks like a pretty standard Lamy converter, I would say. You have some odd metal there. So how do you take the cap off? Well, there is no cap. The nib is right there. You see that? Let's do this refocusing thing again, just because I enjoy it. How close can I get? I want to see how well I can show you this. Oh, that's not bad. Gold nib, 14 karat gold. But of course the funny thing is that this is a capless pen. So you rotate the barrel, and you see the nib right there. And the nib, how can I show you that? Maybe use some other backdrop. The nib just slides out. So unlike the pilot vanishing point, which is kind of like a ballpoint, it has a button on the back end. You push that, and then the nib comes out. With this pen, there's nothing to push. You just twist the barrel, and the nib comes out. And that is not the only thing that happens. I'm sorry, I have to zoom in. Refocus yet again. I don't know why I keep calling that zooming in. Have a good look at the clip when I rotate this. I'm not sure how well you can see that, but it actually moves into the barrel a bit. It's very difficult to show you this, but the motion isn't huge, so refocus, my friend. Thank you. The point is not that the clip completely disappears, because it doesn't, but it does move close to the barrel. And then you hold it, and you have a very decently sized pen, I would say. It's quite big, actually. It's pretty fat, but because this clip moves down a bit, it's fairly pleasant to hold. I don't really notice the clip being there. So that's quite cool. The nib I got from Arguan is an oblique broad. I always got the feeling he has a thing going on for oblique nibs. He seems to like those. I don't have a whole lot, but this one is a lot of fun, I can tell you. And that's pretty much all there's to it. So okay, so how, now you may think, what about the nib? Is it going to dry out? Well, there is a ball cap right in there. Yeah, I really have to refocus again, yes, because I want to enjoy my new camera. That looks reasonably sharp, I guess. Reasonably sharp. Okay, I twist that bit, and you see that ball moving away. See that? It just moves out of place, and then the nib comes out, and then it moves back into place. Is that foolproof? No. I understand that your nib can in fact dry out. I've only had this for well, I've been using it today all day, but to me it didn't seem like it dried out completely. Now I can imagine that if you leave it maybe for a few days without using it, then this may not be an absolute, vacuum system, so your nib may dry out a bit. Okay, so that's this fascinating pen. It's just fun to play around with that nib. But what do I like about it? What do I not like about it? Well, I love the weight. According to my simple scale, it weighs about 50 grams, which may not sound like a large weight, but for a pen, it is quite large. I like the size. I think it's about 5.5 inches, which may sound fairly average, but for a fountain pen, it's not exactly small. Here we have a Namiki Falcon, which looks probably a little thinner. Here we have a Hero 616, which is about the same size as a Parker 51. So it's not a small pen. It has girth. It's heavy. So if you don't like bigger pens, heavier pens, this is not the pen for you. I think that's very clear. I love those design features. Clearly it's cool that the nib retracts. It's also quite practical. If you want to, you can open it single-handedly. It's a little less easy than with the vanishing point, I think, but with some practice you can do it. I love how that clip moves down a bit. It's a pretty cool feature. I mean, it's pleasant when you hold it. So all of that is nice. What do I not like about it? Well, for me, there isn't a lot I don't like about it. And maybe that ink drying out, clearly that could be an issue. As I said, I haven't experienced that yet, but I may at some point. I like the weight and size, as I've said, but I think that's also its issue. For me, it's not a problem. It's very top heavy near the nib. There's a lot of metal there, whereas with the barrel, I don't think that's that heavy. which is good when you're writing. It makes for decent weight. But for extended writing, I can imagine this would be a problem. I've been using it today quite a lot, but not for like 20 minutes of continuous writing. I can see how this could be tiring. Also because there is no real area to grip for your fingers. I mean, if you have a look at a lot of sections, there is some bit where your fingers sort of gravitate towards and they will stick in that spot. Whereas with the Dialog3, your fingers just move around. You can, I mean, there is no difference between holding the pen here and holding the pen there. There is no rounding off, no tapering, nothing. So that may be an issue. For me, it wasn't. Okay, more than enough talk. It is obvious that at some point there should be a shootout between the Dialog3 and the Vanishing Point, but for now, we'll just do a writing sample. So I hope this was useful, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye. Okay, so here we go. Lamy Dialog3. Whoop, nib. Whoop is gone. Whoop, nib. Whoop is gone. Whoop, nib. Whoop is gone. Do you get that? Whoop, nib. There we go. Okay. What we have here is a Lamy Dialog3. The nib is oblique broad. This is a left foot oblique, meaning that, somewhat exaggerated, it is shaped like this, cut at that slanted angle, which means that when you write, you have to rotate it a bit into the paper. Otherwise, if you hold this the way I would normally hold a pen, it'll write, but it'll be a bit odd. If I hold it the way it's supposed to be held, it gives you a very nice line. Okay. The ink is Montblanc Toffee Brown. And we should do a writing sample. The Quick Brown Fox. The Lazy Dog. And well, it did. Okay, it's pleasant to use this nib. It's very smooth. I like the way it responds. Oblique nibs always take a little bit of fiddling to figure out how that specific nib should be held. But I think it's very pleasant. I already had an oblique broad on my Lamy 2000. So I'm kind of familiar with it. Okay, let's do some fast writing. I don't see any skipping. Maybe a little bit there, but that was probably me misaligning the nib, because with these obliques it's a little difficult to keep writing at that pace. I think that's very cool. Looks good to me. Then we maybe want to look at some wetness. Pretty wet. What about springiness, flexibility? There's definitely line variation to be had. I'm not sure whether this being an oblique brings out the flexibility the best way it can, but that's okay. As you can see, you definitely get line variation, and it doesn't require a whole lot of pressure. So that's pretty much all there's to it. I think this is a wonderful pen. We have Arguan to thank for that. So everyone who enjoys this review, remember Arguan, who was kind enough to send me one. And that's all there's to it. So I hope this was useful. Whoop! And I'll see you later. Bye bye.